If you're a young player who's just starting, or if you're an older player but you want to change your position, this video is perfect for you. Before we start, I want you to grab a piece of paper and I want you to write down everything you're really good at and everything you're really bad at. The center back, your communication, your leadership skills has to be incredibly well. So you can actually demand your teammate where you want them, how you want them to defend when the opposition has the ball. You also need to be fearless. You cannot be scared of getting into those tough challenges when the opposition has the ball. But you gotta be smart about it. So your game IQ, your timing has to be incredible so you don't make mistakes, you don't get yellow cards or red cards when it comes to your tackles. And I think, in my opinion, one of the most important things that makes a very good center back is you being able to stay on your feet until the last moment. You have to anticipate the opposition, you have to anticipate your tackles to the last moment. Because if you make early tackles, what happens is now the opposition can easily go around you, and you want to really avoid this as a center back. So make sure your leadership skills are incredible and you are on your feet defending with patience, and you're also not scared to get into the challenges. Center back position is very tough. Maybe it's not most stamina-wise demanding positions on the pitch. You need to be mentally strong and you need to be very patient and you need to be an excellent leader. The next is the fullback position. Fullback position is probably one of the most physically demanding positions. The stamina, at the same time the strength and speed as well. A fullback needs to be able to overlap, fullback needs to be able to support the attack, but at the same time fullback needs to know when to drop, and when the fullback drops, they need to know when to tackle, what position they need to be taking to be able to dominate this position. So you are making the opposition's winger having the worst time in their lives. Because an annoying fullback is, in my opinion, the most important thing. If you are a fullback, you need to be able to play super annoying. You need to be able to understand what the opposition is gonna do, anticipate their move, but at the same time tuck in when you need to tuck in, or go and challenge the opposition when you need to challenge. If you are interested in playing the fullback position, I have many fullback videos. Playing CDM is also very challenging, Central Defensive Midfielder. When the opposition is not high pressing, your job is quite simple when your team is attacking, because you don't get as much press and you can receive the ball, turn with the ball and distribute the game very easy. But your job as a central defensive midfielder gets quite challenging when the opposition is high pressing. Now you don't get the ball as much, so you are kinda under pressure constantly from the opposition when they are high pressing. So you need to be able to create space. Your game IQ has to be outstanding. You need to know exactly when to drop. You need to know exactly when to hold. You need to know when to drop in between your center backs to receive the ball so you can push them up so they can support attack. Because if you as a CDM not dropping in between your center backs, now what happens is you have two center backs left in behind you. So now your fullbacks are kind of stuck where they are. But if you as a CDM drops in between your center backs, now your center backs pushes further away from each other, right? So now what happens, your fullbacks have more freedom to go up and support your team's attack, so your team has more numbers when your team is attacking. It doesn't have to be aligned with them, right in front of them, so you're actually pushing your fullbacks up. If you are planning on playing the CDM position, I highly recommend you study each and every position on the pitch. Not just as a CDM, as a center back, as a goalkeeper, every position you need to know exactly how each position should play. When your CM, the central midfielders, either go up or go down, you need to be able to cover their space. So to be able to do this, you need to have the game IQ, the positional knowledge to be able to cover each position on the pitch. Because as a CDM, you're not only gonna be stuck central, sometimes your fullback will be going up, or your winger will be going up, or your CM would be dropping. You're gonna have to be moving to cover these spaces. And now let's talk about central midfielder position. In my opinion, playing the central midfielder role, you could be box-to-box midfielder, or you could be playing with a partner like a more modern day central midfielder. If you're a box-to-box midfielder, your job is quite tough because you're gonna be running up and down the field. Support the attack, support the defense, support the attack, support the defense. Your attacking role is significantly important when it comes to playing the central midfielder position. Also, your job is incredibly important when it comes to defending, because you need to be exactly where you're supposed to be as a central midfielder. You need to be able to stay in the middle of the park, so you are closing channels. You're not really playing man-to-man, not just yet. But if the ball is coming to you, now you get to play man-to-man. But if the opposition has the ball and it's kind of still away from you, you need to be able to know which channels to cover, and you need to be in incredibly sync with your attacking midfielder, with your other central midfielder partner, as well as your CDM partner. So you are just dropping in these spaces to cover the gaps that your teammates left. But I highly recommend you, if you are playing the CM position, you need to have outstanding stamina. Your first touch has to be incredible. Your stamina has to be incredible. Your passing, your distributing, your vision, your game IQ needs to be incredibly well, so you are playing this position comfortably. Otherwise, you're gonna be struggling, because when the opposition has the ball, you are still up high. Now you need to put lots of effort to come back and cover the spaces that you left open. It's nobody else's job but you to come back and be there. Unless you communicated with your teammates so they are covering for you, you still need to eventually come back to that position. So your stamina is incredibly important when it comes to playing this position. And you have to watch players like Xavi and Iniesta, how they played this position and how they mastered this position. So you learn something from those players when they supported the attack and when they supported the defense. Attacking midfielder position is also very important when it comes to your team's attack, your team's defending as well. The most important thing when it comes to playing the attacking midfielder position is obviously you are the maestro. So you have to create chances for your teammates. So your game IQ, your first touch, your passing, and your vision, at the same time, you being able to create stuff out of nowhere. But the attacking midfielder position is a bit easier than the central midfielder position as well as the CDM, because you have a bit more freedom when it comes to your team's attack. So you can go wide, or you can replace with your striker, switch, and maybe your striker comes to receive. So you are more free to do whatever it takes to create chances for your teams. So your movement off the ball is incredibly important, not just for you to receive the ball, but for you to create space for your teammates to receive the ball. And when it comes to defending as an attacking midfielder, I just told you about CM, where you need to be filling those gaps. You have to be at the right places to make your CM and CDM work as little as possible, so the ball doesn't get through you. If the ball gets through you, now your CM and CDM has to work harder, so now they might be losing their position. So you as an attacking midfielder needs to do everything you can to be able to cover these gaps, cover these channels, so opposition can't pass through those channels. And now let's get to one of the most popular positions where everybody wants to play, the winger position. The winger position is probably one of the most fun positions to play, because you have lots of space to receive the ball, and you have lots of space to be able to use your dribbling skills that you potentially have. Other than first touch and passing, you need to be able to dribble well, and you need to be able to anticipate the opposition. But as a winger, you need to be able to communicate incredibly well with your fullback, because your fullback will be overlapping wide most likely. So now you're gonna have to tuck in to receive the ball, or at least to open up a space for your overlapped fullback. This usually happens if the attack is progressing from the other side. So you positionally need to be aware as a winger to know exactly when your fullback needs to overlap, so you can tuck inside. If your fullback is not overlapping, now you have to stay wide to receive the ball. So your attacking midfielder could create these spaces to receive the ball either for themselves or for you. And of course, as a winger, you need to be a bit faster. You could be a slow winger, but you are playing more like a wide attacking midfielder almost if you are a slow winger. So you need to have some speed if you want to play a wide winger, a proper wide winger. So if you have the speed, you're gonna make your job a lot easier. If not, now you're gonna have to play a bit more central than a wide fast winger. Now we can use the fast fullback that can support the team's attacks, because somebody out there has to be fast, either your fullback or yourself. And when it comes to defending as a winger, just like I said, in the fullback position, you need to drop when your fullback overlaps sometimes to cover the space. If you can't do it as a winger, you also need to be in incredible communication with your CDM or CM, so they can tuck in, cover the space that your fullback left open. And as a winger, You could be a right-footed left winger or you could be a right-footed right winger. The difference is now you're even allowing your fullback to overlap more if you are playing as right-footed left winger. Because now when you receive the ball, most likely you're going to be making inverted runs with the ball. So you can maybe try to score or you can try to assist. This means that your fullback has to overlap. If you are playing in a team and you are right-footed left winger and your fullback is not overlapping, this might not be the best position for you. Because now there is nobody outside, nobody is supporting. Somebody has to be supporting. And if you are a wide winger, like right-footed right winger, now your main job is to provide assist for your striker. If you are playing the striker position, one of the most important things, of course, is your physicality. This might depend what kind of a striker you are. You could be a Kun Agüero style or you could be Erling Haaland style. Where if you're Erling Haaland style, now you really need to learn to play when your back is turned to the opposition's net. So you're gonna have to be strong physically to be able to hold the ball in front of you when the opposition's defenders, center backs, are right behind you and putting the pressure. And to be able to do this, you need to be strong physically so you can hold the ball right in front of you and just stall the game until you have more support from your teammates. You need to be releasing the ball as soon as possible so you can get into the dangerous territories to score more goals. So when it comes to holding the ball right under your feet, of course, number one is physicality and then your first touch and your passing, because you have to receive the ball. So as you're receiving the ball, you have to control the ball in front and you have to have the good composure over the ball so you can have the ball longer if you need to wait for more support from your teammates. And of course, your shooting has to be incredible so you can score goals, as well as your heading abilities. And if you're one of the other types of strikers where you can be a right forward or left forward, now you are more focusing on the runs in behind. So most likely you are one of the shorter strikers and you are faster strikers. So you are making the runs in behind when your central midfielder or your defensive midfielder or your winger has the ball, so you can find the balls in behind the opposition center back. Goalkeeper position. What does this position requires and what do you need to be really good at? In my opinion, one of the most important things when it comes to playing the goalkeeper position is your communication skills. A good goalkeeper has to know how to communicate with the team. Basically, you are demanding and you're commanding your teammates all the way from the back and telling them when to press, when to hold, when to drop, or which player from the opposition that they need to be marking. That's your first and one of the most important job when it comes to playing the goalkeeper position. Other than your communication skills as a goalkeeper, you need to be able to jump well, you need to be very strong. Also, you cannot be scared of getting into tackles, getting into the position where it's kind of dangerous for you, but you're going there anyways to protect your net. And that's why goalkeeper position is one of those insane positions. You're gonna have to be fearless. You're gonna have to be able to come out there and demand and grab that ball from the opposition when you need to. You need to be able to play when you're criticized. Because as a goalkeeper, well, any other position really, you're gonna be making mistakes. And your one mistake could be very costly for your team. So you need to have a very strong mentality when it comes to playing this position. So you need to be able to overcome these feelings when you are playing this position. Other than these attributes, your reaction, and in the modern day of football, how well you can use your feet means how well can you distribute the play from the back. Because in the modern day of football, goalkeepers get involved a lot more than in the past. So your team needs to be able to find you, pass you, and you can find your teammates back with your passes, and you're pretty damn consistent with your passes. Because as a coach, I like when my goalkeepers get really involved in the game and distribute the game from the back. You need to be in sync with your center backs, with your fullbacks, and you need to be able to sometimes demand the ball with confidence. So you're comfortable about receiving the ball and kind of creating the game from the back line. So make sure, don't forget to drop a comment under this video and let me know what attributes did you write in that piece of paper I told you about, so we can discuss and I can help you out. Also, from my previous how to choose your position video, if my tips helped you find the perfect position. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you were able to learn something. Please drop a like and subscribe to my channel with the notifications. Thanks for tuning in and I will see you next time.